And it's another way to connect with people too. Find some common ground, and especially if you have a lot of differences in like ideologies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You find some common ground that makes it a lot easier to communicate with each other, especially with tough topics.
Yeah. What I love about you, man, is I bet if we were to open up the Bible and go through like doctrines or something, we probably have some differences.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I've never gotten this vibe from you that like you can't break bread with me because of potential. I don't even know what they are actually.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, we've never really talked like doctrine or anything, but,
Yeah.
I'm just assuming there'd be some things I'm like, I don't agree with that, but like, it's okay. You
Yeah.
know, that's fine.
I mean,
love you for,
I would love to have a conversation like that too. Just, just my journey, just growing up. And I think that was one of your questions, you sent me. It was like, how's your faith growing up as a pastor's kid, So growing up, like, especially as a pastor's kid, like, this is what we believe.
Yeah.
And so as you get older and stuff, for a long time, I didn't know there was any other denominations and stuff. Like, people don't believe that. I thought everybody believed that.
Yeah.
This for a long time. Like, I was like high school. I'm like, what?
Because you just don't like care before that. Typically,
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
you don't really care to find out.
And that was just
those aren't the questions you're asking.
And that was just the circle that I was in, like, all the time. I'd never experienced any church really outside of where I grew up at. And then get to college.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, that's different. So then there's been the journey trying to like figure out like, different doctrines. Like, okay, does this make sense? Like, do I really believe that? Or is that just how I was raised like that? I don't know about that. I can get with that. There's a lot of stuff like that.
Because for context, your church is Pentecostal?
Yeah.
Okay. You're comfortable with it? That's okay. So, and I hate putting people in a box because you kind of automatically, somebody would hear that and assume, oh, you do this and this and this because that's what that Pentecostal church does, right?
Yeah.
And that's not always the case.
Yeah.
So you also work at
so different.
You also work at St. Peter's is a Lutheran school, right?
So I used to work at St. Peter's. I don't work there anymore.
You don't work there anymore?
I work at East now.
Okay. I probably heard that at one point, but I forgot that.
But yeah,
okay.
So I did work at
So how
St.
was that?
Peter's.
Was that weird? How long have you been at East?
It's my first year.
Okay. Well, I don't feel quite as bad.
Yeah. Yeah, just started that. But I was at St. Peter's for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was that? I mean, when you're talking about reconciling kind of different faith views on the Bible, maybe even the same scriptures that maybe you interpret different way. Does that ever cause kind of conflict in your heart, in your mind? I'm sure you have to kind of navigate those waters in a weird way.
Going into, I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work. Like, I don't know. Are they gonna question me about different things and stuff? But what really gave me confidence about that working there was Pastor Tyke. Shout out to Pastor Tyke. He's awesome. And I know he's no longer pastor there now, but he was there when I got there. And I've always seen Pastor Tyke. He would come to our church, and he would preach at our church. He would be at all of our functions and stuff. And so I'm like, Pastor Tyke's cool.
He would still get some amens at your church.
Oh yeah, okay. Pastor Tyke could throw down, man.
Yeah.
I love hearing him speak too. I hear him preach. He's awesome. So I'm like, Pastor Tyke's cool. Like, then I think I'll be cool. But Jesus, is in the center of all that they do at St. Peter's. Like I said, that with confidence, and that was, what I was, what I'm all about too. And so that was never a conflict at all. Like, they knew that my heart was in the right place for as far as living right and being a Christian and representing Christ and all that I do. And so I've always put that first, and we never had any issues or any problems or anything like that. And I feel super comfortable over there. Like I love St. Peter's. They're really good to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're really good to me. And so worship with them. Never any issues or problems or anything. Learned a lot while I was there. Some great people over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to have, I've only heard great things about Pastor Tyke for years, right? Like as long as I've known about St. Peter's, it was like Pastor Tyke, like goes hand in hand with that.
Yeah.
But I actually got to have coffee with John Cordray.
Yeah,
Cordray. And
he's great too.
He was a stud.
Yeah.
He was a stud. And it was really nice to get to spend, I don't know, it was probably an hour and a half with him at Lukaby one morning. It was when he was pretty fresh here. And they were kind of at the time looking for somebody to fill some music roles for a little while.
Yeah.
And man, I was so encouraged by him and heard him speak a couple times at some different the worship nights that they did. We did one of those with the Clem's Collective, and it was just a blessing, man, to just see people like trying to push forward the message of Jesus. And I don't, I've never really gone to a Catholic church. I've been to Catholic Mass before, but I've also never gone to a Lutheran church. And so it was just like, oh, like, this is great.
Yeah.
Like this is, they're preaching the gospel, and this is, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I've only heard good things about what's going on at St. Peter's.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
I've learned a lot while I was there too. Just like, so I've grown, I feel like I've grown a lot, being there at St. Peter's. So I appreciate you, St. Peter's. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah.
They did not sponsor this episode, just so you know.
Yeah. So like, so I mean, there's so much, so many things that we have in common than that we don't have in common. Right. And even some doctrines, I might not, agree with everything that you may feel like goes along with Pentecostals, or vice versa. Just growing up, studying, trying to understand, and then like this, I'm growing, right? It's a journey, and still figuring things out as I go.